Thank you for joining our presentation this afternoon. My name is Steve Gaudreau. I'm the president of Brink Results, a training and consulting firm that specializes in serving the car wash industry. Today, the topic of our webinar is the Unlimited Wash Club. So before we get started, let me just give you a couple pieces of information about our process. We would invite questions from you, but we're not going to have you ask questions during the presentation. I'll be talking for about 25-30 minutes before, and then we'll ask to bring up your questions. During the presentation, if you want to just go ahead and put it on the chat feature of Zoom, we'll have those questions all ready for us at the very end. And after the questions and answer session is over, we're going to have a drawing, and we're going to be giving away a 32 gigabyte iPad. Got one right here, and we'll be giving that away at random to some lucky listener. Again, thanks for joining. Let's talk a little bit about our subject, and I'm going to begin with a question. And the question is, why don't you have 5,000 members per site? I assume most of you that are listening to me today do not have that, but we have a lot of people in the industry are now seeing that as a new target. Why? Let's talk about why. You have to change your mindset to be thinking about 5,000, 7,000, 10,000 members. So specifically, what do I mean by change of mindset? Number one, you got to change your business model. You got to be thinking, instead of dollars per car, which has been the standard in the car wash industry for decades, you have to think more of a subscription concept, dollar per member. So that's the first thing. The change is thinking of a new business model. Second, you've got to change the pricing to make the membership club more attractive to customers. And we're going to get into some details on pricing, but you want the widest possible range of people to attract to your club. All right, third, the change of mindset, a different way of doing business. Customers are coming in a lot more frequently. All the surveys that the ICA did over the years showed that the average conveyor customer came in about 3 times a year. We're talking about 3 times a month. That's a huge change for any business. And number 4, additional employees are going to be needed. You're going to have somebody out on the pay stations in order to sign people up for this Unlimited Wash Club. So the whole Exterior Express business was started with the idea of minimizing the human resource percentage. And nobody had anybody out for many, many years, decades really, on that pay station. Now, having somebody out there to do that is really critical to being able to build a large membership for your location. And last but not least, with this pandemic, okay, it helps if your people are out there and they're spraying down and wiping down. I'm thinking about the next point, I'm sorry. That's the pandemic proof. Let me go back for a second. I'll talk about the pandemic in a minute. The weatherproof. What we've seen is actually cars lined up in a light drizzle or rain coming in. Why? Okay, the cloudiness and the rain doesn't stop them, because after a while, when people are on a monthly plan, they think it's free. I can come as often as I want, as many times as I want. So it takes the weather out of the business to a great degree. And then I started early talking about the pandemic proof, having somebody out there in between customers spraying down, wiping down those pay stations. That's a positive. Anytime any customer sees anybody on your car wash lot cleaning, that's a tremendous positive in this environment. All right, let's move on. There are 9 elements to a successful Unlimited Wash Club program. First one is pricing. Second one is marketing. Third is people. Fourth is incentives. Fifth is training. Sixth is goals. Seventh is management. Eighth is competition. And ninth is the biggest changes, which we'll talk about in a minute overall. So we're going to go through each one of these elements right now. So let's start with pricing. That's really the beginning. First and foremost, the concept that we use when we're designing Unlimited Wash Club packages for the individual car wash packages is 2 times the price of each wash package is kind of what you're looking for. In the past, with unlimited wash clubs, people have done 3 times, 4 times. But you're never going to grow a membership very large with that multiple. So let me give you an example. Okay, a single wash menu might be $7, $10, $14, and $18. All right, so what would that look like as an example of an unlimited wash club? You would convert that to $15, a little bit more than 2 times, $20 for that $10 wash, exactly 2 times, $25 for the $14 wash, and $30 for the $18 wash. As you can see on the 2 highest unlimited wash clubs, they're actually a little less than 2 times. That's an example of a plan that's trying to attract people from a wide range. You want people that are very budget conscious at the bottom end, and people that want absolutely the best at the top end are willing to pay more. And that gives you an average somewhere in the 20s, depending on the demographics of your area. So, a couple more things about pricing. The top 2 packages can be higher to take care of that higher demographic. I've even seen people at 15 and 20, and they go to 30 and 35. So it's really 2 completely different segments. Another example menu would be if the single washes were 8, 15, and 20, the unlimited wash club might look like something like this: 15, 22, and 30. Okay, so that's trying to be all-inclusive. You want to attract everybody to your unlimited wash club. All right, and of course, obviously, low price for the bottom 2 packages. Have clients that have gone as low as $10. $10 to $15 has been the range for the lowest package. We encourage our clients to do at least 15. If you do lower than that, you're obviously going to have a lower average, but you're also going to sign up more people. So can't say anything's wrong, just hard for most people to live with that. But again, as I've pointed out, you want to be inclusive, appeal to all levels of customers, and the result is going after behavior change from 3 times a year to 3 times a month. When you think about that, that's 36 times a year versus used to coming 3 times a year. That's just an enormous change in our industry, and that illustrates the difference between a subscription model and just a $1 per car model that has been standard in the industry for many years. Okay, so much for pricing. Let's talk about marketing. All right, there's on-site signage, there's sales literature, there's promotions, and there's off-site advertising. Let's take a look at each one. On-site signage, okay, first of all, the menus. You would like to make the cost of the individual packages and the unlimited wash club and each one side by side to make the math really easy. Typically, the unlimited wash club is a little bit bigger, a little bit bolder. This individual purchase is a little bit smaller circle, a little bit less bold. So you're promoting that menu, but you're making it easy for people to do the math. On the gate arm, the signage, put an unlimited wash club starting at the base price. Join our unlimited wash club starting at $14.99. That's where, again, you want to promote getting into the club. Right next to it, you can see a sign that's on the side of the building. Again, a promotion. That's an example of number 3, multiple signs on the site promoting the unlimited wash club. You want to have as much signage as you possibly can without being too cluttered. And the same message as a gate arm, starting at whatever your lowest price is. Windmasters on the driveway, people will put that as people pull onto the property so they can see that and start the thinking. And when people have gone through, let's say they haven't done anything, they've gone through the wash, they bought an individual wash, they come into the vacuum area, again, there's signage there with our unlimited wash club starting as low as whatever the price is. Okay, so much for on-site signage. Let's talk a little bit about sales literature. So at the pay station, it's great to have a single card that you use at the pay station and also in the office if somebody comes in. You want the package information on the front, exactly the Unlimited Wash Club opportunities to sign up on, and the program rules are on the back. And you want this to look very simple and very professionally done. So you want this to be at the highest level in terms of taking that information with them. Sometimes people will say, I'm not ready to do this right now. Can I have one of those cards? Take that card. It's your sales piece going back home. All right? So that's the sales literature. Number C, promotions, is most important for a brand new car wash. Pretty typically in the industry, when people open up, they'll give free washes. 5 days, 10 days, some do it as long as a month. Our recommendation has been most often 17 days, try to capture 3 weekends in 2 weeks. But during that free washing, that's a perfect time to have some kind of a promotion for the Unlimited Wash Club. So here's a good example. Half price offers for a month. Some of the largest and most successful chains will do this, and they'll not only do it during the free wash period, they'll do it, some of them, as long as 6 months. So 6 months you get it at half the price, 5 months, 4 months, 3 months. Each time it goes down. So that's how much a new offer for the Unlimited Wash Club can make a difference. Some people have done $5 for the first month. We've used that. We haven't found a single client that wasn't effective. And some will give, as I say, the free washes for the first 17 days. But one thing we do recommend is that you don't give a free month with the Unlimited Wash Club. Cancellation rate is much higher on that afterwards. All right, last thing under marketing, off-site marketing, advertising. Okay, I think most people watching this telecast, this webinar, would agree with this, is most car washes really don't spend enough on advertising and marketing. 3% is the minimum recommended by the Small Business Administration. The most successful clients that we have spend at least 5% of their gross revenue on it. The key question is, where do you spend it? All right? First off, if you spend the money and get results, it pays for itself. Always remember that. Billboards is one example of a very expensive media, but it's also, if you can get the right billboard within a mile of your location, and it's in the right position, and you put the right message on, guess what? We'll be talking about Unlimited Wash Clubs, okay? You can make that billboard pay for itself. Very simple to buy it for 6 months, go ahead and put a message on and see what impact. If you do it successfully, we've seen results jump the day after the billboard goes up. So very powerful medium, very rarely used in the industry. And of course, social media and digital marketing today is everything. Monitoring what's on all of the social media that are out there, marketing to people on a digital basis is so important. As a matter of fact, there are now ad agencies that specialize in working with the car wash industry and have grown up and grown rapidly, because more and managing this social media and digital marketing is really the #1 job that they have. You can't afford to have a bad review out there circulating and people saying negative things about you. You need to know it so you can correct the problem, and you need to combat it out there on that media. So important today. Even somebody as old as me knows that. All right. Let's talk about direct mail. Direct mail has gone out of favor in recent years. People haven't used it as much, but it's really still a very good tool, especially for a new car wash. And mailing within that 3-mile radius is very important. Would I do it more than once or twice a year? No, but you do it, it can be very successful. And again, the turnover in our communities is so great. You're getting a lot of new customers that really don't know that you're there and not aware of you. So direct mail is still something worth looking at, maybe just not doing quite as much. And business to business, this, like media, like billboards and so forth, is not done very often by most car washes because it takes going out into the community. And again, today you have something that's much more valuable to talk to the community about, the Unlimited Wash Clubs. So there's so much more potential success. Very few car washes do it, but the Unlimited Wash Clubs gives you an opportunity to set up some corporate accounts or even just to go out and promote to the employees at a large company about your Unlimited Wash Club. Making sure those key executives that are influencing those decisions, making sure that they get one of those too, no matter what the price is. All right, so that's marketing. Let's talk about people, the hardest part of the entire equation. First, you got to staff the pay stations with employees who do not have to be a professional salesperson. Now, we have a little bit of a philosophy. The customer service attendants that are out there in the industry, if they're good customer service attendants, they have some people orientation. They have some extroversion. So when they interact with a customer, it's a pleasant experience. They don't have to be off the charts like a professional salesperson, but they do need to be friendly, and they do need to be able to connect with customers on a person-to-person basis. What's really great for a CSA is to go out there on the pay stations a little bit each day. They're loading sometimes, they're cleaning sometimes, working on a special project sometimes, and out there at the pay station. So it's a nice change of pace. Plus, you can go ahead and incentivize those people with an incentive program, which we'll talk about in a minute. It does increase your human resource costs. So that's one of the big investments, is just the fact that we now have to have somebody staffed out there 70 to 100% of the time. So that's it goes back to the change in mindset. The time frame, okay? Basically, you want to have people, when you pay them, whether it's per week or every other week, depends on yourselves, and we'll talk about the incentives in just a minute. But the time frame that you have somebody out there does depend on your volume to some degree as well. All right, and then with COVID-19, having employees spraying down pay stations, as I already mentioned, between customers is an additional duty that people out of pay stations have done, and again, goes over very positive with customers. All right, incentives. Let's jump on those incentives. First off, I can tell you right now, having worked with over 100 companies, 100 car washes with their incentive programs, there's no standardization in the industry. Everybody kind of has their own way of doing it. And really, incentivizing and rewarding the behaviors you want is the most important, no matter how exactly you do it. Here, we believe in a customer service attendant formula. So a little additional money so somebody can make $1 or $2 extra an hour, very positive, very good. Again, as long as you don't start putting people in pressure to make a lot of sales, and we'll talk about the coaching in a minute here. So the formula, let me give you an example of a formula. If somebody sold over a 2-week period, 1 to 30 sold memberships, they give them $2 per plan. 31 to 59, $4 per plan, and 60 or more, $6 per plan. Now these numbers are not carved in marble. You could do 1, 3, and 5. You could do 3, 5, and 7. Some people pay as much as $10 per plan for people that have a lot of members, to get a lot of members in a 2-week period. So that is an example, though, of making it kind of fun and giving some incentive for people to do a large number. All right, and the time frame, as I mentioned earlier, per week or every other week, but you don't want to go monthly. You want to reinforce it close to the behavior that you're looking to get. So every 2 weeks would be the longest. If you pay weekly, that's ideally to pay the incentives as well. All right, let's talk about incentives. First off, you got to understand the job that you're asking the CSA to do. When they came to work for you, they didn't come in with the idea that they're going to be a professional salesperson. So again, you do want to hire people that have what we call some extroversion, a little bit, they're friendly towards customers, not a super salesperson, but they know how to smile and they know what friendly looks like. So if that's all you want, that's all you need, okay, then the formula I just gave you really works very differently than a very high pressure kind of a sales incentive. Don't really need to do that, and it doesn't really fit the model of who you have working at your car wash. The site manager formula, okay, should be different than the CSA bonus plan. The levels depend on the existing car count to some degree. So I'm going to give you an example, but this would vary a lot by the volume at your wash. So let's say in the course of the end of a month, the net membership increase was between $50 and $99, $100 bonus. 100 to 149, $200 bonus. 150 to 199, $300, and 200 net members or more, $400. Believe it or not, there's plenty of car washes out there hitting these kinds of numbers. It is a high performance. That's why supposedly you're watching today, to find out how to raise that performance up. But that's an example of a system you could use. You can vary the amounts of dollars. You can vary the amount of the net membership increases. All right, training. Another, like advertising with major media, training is something that people don't get enough of when it comes to Unlimited Wash Club. The first part of any kind of training is there is some classroom training you need to give people, and we'll detail that in a minute. And then you do need to do some on-site training. Now, what I'm going to tell you is going to sound like a lot, but most of the training takes place in one day. So you do have to devote a day to this person to get them up to speed, he or she, but it is something that is necessary. So let's talk about classroom training. Okay, Unlimited Wash Club packages, they need to understand those. They need to understand what's in them. They need to understand how it works. They need to understand all those questions on the back about how can I cancel, what do I do if I want to change my plan. They need to have all that information. So you're sitting down at a desk with somebody and doing this in a classroom style. You want to give them a list of the frequently asked questions by your customers and what's the proper answers. That's, again, remember now, you don't have professional salespeople. You have customer service attendants. They need to be shown exactly what the questions they're going to get and what the answers they need to give. The sign-up process. This is something that you want the sign-up process to be as quick as possible, as close as you can to get it to 30 to 60 seconds, the better off you are. The faster people can sign up, because again now, customers now are starting to come behind them. This is waiting. People are switching over to the other lane. So there's a little bit of pressure if you're taking too long with that sign-up process. People have to practice doing it before they actually get out there. Then, what are they going to say? When a customer pulls up, you really have about 20 to 30 seconds to say something to the customer that will encourage them to buy an Unlimited Wash Club. And that's it. They say no, you're going to say, fine, which wash do you want? Thank you very much for coming in. You want it to be as friendly and a seamless experience, because there might be more than once that you're going to be talking to that customer. So it's very important that they know that someone doesn't try to reclose them, because that's where you start to drive away customers. They're not coming to an Exterior Express for a full-fledged sales presentation. So what you're going to say has to be very succinct. All right. Now you've done all that, okay, and you can see once you've prepared it, that's a few hours of work to do that. 3 hours usually generally is the max you need to do. Okay, so on-site training. You take somebody out and you memorize what they're going to say. Make sure that they can deliver that fluently and easily. You want it to be very smooth. Then you want to role play. You want to practice. You want to be the customer. And again, not on the pay station and not in the classroom, but outside. You want to get as close to that feel as you can of being out with the customers. So remember, you're not selling people, and you got to tell your people. Your job is to recommend. If people buy, that's great. We reward you, okay? As opposed to sell, okay? And we're going to give you commissions, and if you don't make a certain level, you're out of a job. You got to take it away from the sales aspect, make it more in the customer service aspect. All right, so that's that. Let me just go back for a second. All of that should take you about a day on site with an individual. And then you'll need to follow up with that person, a little bit the second day, third day, until they're comfortable, until they get it easily to deliver. Some people do that the first day. Some people take a few days. But once they get successful, then you can lay off the training and just do follow-up coaching and training, follow-up coaching. All right, so goals. Ask the CSA, customer service attendant that you're working with, what do they want to accomplish with the Unlimited Wash Plan? Like asking them after the training is over. Don't ask them this before, because they'll say, I don't know. After they've been out there, they've been successful. After a few days, after they're comfortable and they've written up business, sit down with them and say, how many people do you think you could sign up this week? Okay? Let them set a goal. Whatever they say, that's fine. That goal is great, okay? As opposed to, well, that's awful low, or that's not the right kind of goal. You want to make it voluntary and let them give you exactly what they think they can do at that point in time. So it's a goal. It's not a quota. It's not like you have to sell this many. A lot of people have made mistakes and have made this one of the jobs that people, the CSAs, don't like, and you can increase your turnover instead of decrease it. This is a retention formula. People making extra money and doing something a little different in addition to the routine work that's being done all day at the car wash. All right, management, one of my favorite subjects. Okay, at all levels, okay, you have to follow up on the training. What does that mean? You have a district manager or you're the owner, you have to follow up with the site manager. The site manager has to be comfortable out there on the pay stations as well. You want them to write up some business every week. When they take over, giving people breaks, having them do that, you got to lead by example. So everybody needs to get trained right from the top down. The first 30 days are pretty critical, and here's the good news. Most sales training needs extensive follow-up. People at a full-service car wash that are signing people up to packages or express detail, they need continual follow-up forever because selling by itself is a hard job. Just recommending to customers if they like to buy an unlimited wash club or not, and they don't, that's fine. There's no hassle, no problem. You don't need as much follow-up. The first 30 days are pretty critical, and after the first 30 days, you're going to answer the question, can they do it? Okay? So pretty typically what we see out there is there's a couple of people that really are great and they're terrific with it. The majority of people are okay. They make a little bit of extra money, make an extra $1.50 an hour. They do it okay. And then there's a couple of people there that just for whatever reason, they just can't do it. Well, they still want that person out there on the pay station, but they would spend less time out there and they'd probably be happy that they're cleaning instead of being out at the pay station. So you have to figure out what have you got after that first 30 days. Can they do it? The financial reward, if they see the money, that helps lock in the behaviors. That helps lock in this whole concept. This makes sense to them. You got to see a little bit of that. That's why, just because you come out and talk about doing this in the first 10 minutes, they need to see all the results. They need to do it, and they need to make some money from it. And if you're taking a very positive attitude about this, you need to make it somewhat enjoyable for them. Okay? This is having fun. This is getting customers to come more frequently. We want more regular customers coming in. It's a lot more fun to do that. So that's the focus, not this is a quota. If you don't make this number, you're out of a job. You don't use the traditional sales training and sales systems management in this situation. And you got to spend some time out at the pay station to listen, coach, and train people. You just have to spend some time out there. And it's really one of the jobs after they're trained, after 30 days, periodically. If somebody's listened to once a week, even for half an hour, that's great. That's plenty of time. And the situation there is just that you need to make sure that they're still doing well. And the numbers usually tell you that, but it's still important to check their behaviors. And follow up on their goals. What do they want to achieve? What do they want to do? And of course, like any behavior that you want to continue, acknowledge excellent work once you get it. Okay? Praising people, patting them on the back, works in every behavior you want. All right, let's talk about the competition. Here's some exciting news. The largest membership you can possibly have is the strongest defense against competition. A couple stories. Okay, one story actually about three different clients of ours. 3 clients of ours had large chains build right across the street from them. I mean, right across the street. They could see each other. And these were 1 location, 2 location clients. So they had plenty of knowledge. This was coming up. They had at least a year to work with it. Building up their membership to 3,000, 4,000, 5,000 members. Actually, we found 3,000 was kind of a magic number. Car washes opened right across the street. They competed heavily with them on the unlimited wash clubs. And those clients, all 3 of those clients, in the next year after the competition opened up, experienced no volume loss whatsoever. They're basically a few percentage points up, one percentage point or two down. That's due to fluctuations in weather, for gosh sakes. So they were able to hold their business. So that is very strong. Large chains now are being created, as you all know. So anybody is there first and builds a membership first. Doesn't matter how big the chain is, okay? Some chains with hundreds of locations now in our industry, people have been able to maintain their membership and maintain their volume when somebody opening up really close to them from those chains. Strongest defense against competition I've ever seen. And you get 5,000, 6,000, 7,000, you're even stronger. As a matter of fact, then you'll see the person when they open up, no matter how big they are, they're not doing the volume that they thought they would be doing. So new people to the industry coming in all the time. By the way, those people are doing an outstanding job with the Unlimited Wash Club. So they get the idea. They don't need to change their mindset. They got a whole new mindset coming in. They buy into this right away. And most important, it builds your customer loyalty. Why don't I go to that new car wash that opened just down the street? Because I'm coming to you, and I come to you as often as I want. And I've been coming to you now, 30 times a year. That's how frequently I'm coming. I'm a very loyal customer. So that is really the bottom line of what you want to compete against competition. Customers that are loyal to you. So the biggest changes in the industry, more Unlimited Wash Club members. It's incredible, that change. There's more car washes coming. And what do you do about it? Well, Unlimited Wash Club is one thing you do. There's many more, and we could have a seminar on a lot of other areas that you need to do. You need to produce a clean, dry, shiny car. You do need to have a good overall customer experience. And you do, especially today, need to have those properties clean as a whistle. But the greatest competitive advantage I've seen, Unlimited Wash Club. And the exciting thing is there's more people washing their cars. All right. We're going to give you a chance, if you've got some questions already in to the chat, we'll answer those in a minute. Basically, I'm ready to take whatever questions we have got in here. One of the questions that came in, it seems to be that what I'm saying is that it's more important just the sign-ups than just the average price per plan. Why am I saying that? Well, the numbers do two things. First off, if you have a lower price per plan average, you're going to be able to get more members. The more members that you get in, two things happen. You're going to get more revenue and more bottom line revenue. Thousands more customers, and that's what you're talking about. The difference, for example, let's say between a $20 lower package and a $15 lower package, just that difference alone, that $5, can make the difference of 30 to 40% more customers, more members for you. So it means more money. Even though the price per plan is lower, it means more money. And the second thing is competitive advantage. Okay? All right, we've got our questions working now here. Okay, second question that came in here. Why is it so hard to compete with a car wash that has 3,000 members? Okay, I don't know completely why that's true. This is what I theorize. I do know it's true. I've seen it out in the field. I can tell you at 2,000, 1,500, 1,000, people are not as strong in competition with somebody opening up near them. And of course, the quality of the competition makes a difference as well too. But with 3,000 members, that seemed to be a level at which the new guy on the block wasn't taking away customers. So what's my theory on that? I'm already coming. I think of my wash as free. After a few months on the Unlimited Wash Club, they'll tell people, say, hey, I just pay them once a month and I can go as often as I want. I practically get my car washes for free. Almost everybody that signs up goes a ton of times the first month, and then each month they fall back into their normal behavior patterns. But that's why. So I feel like it's free. I feel like, I don't care, you're a new car wash, you can't compete with me. All right. All right, next question. I get this all the time. Okay, how many car wash packages do you think is ideal? Well, almost every book in marketing advertising that talks about pricing and selection and so forth says not to get too many choices. Well, it seems like a lot of people have broken that rule. 3 choices was the pretty much rule of thumb, and you have a lot of people in the industry that's all they'll do is 3 choices. 5 choices has gotten a lot more popular now, and people are doing that. Where I've settled in on, I've gone from 3 to 4. It seems like 4 choices has worked very well to make an all-inclusive membership and to build the most numbers. Okay. All right. Next question. What's the best promotional offer that I've seen? Honestly, for a 1-month promotion, $5 buy any club that you want. It's $5, and the next month we charge you the regular amount. Best, and how I define best, is a lot of sign-ups, and you don't get quite as much of a drop rate. You get a good drop rate, but you won't get that much. Unlike $1 for a month or free for a month, $5 seems to be a good number there. All right. Is dollar per member more important than dollar per car? I think it's really not so much it's more important, it's a different mindset. Not worrying too much about your dollar per car went down. Of course it's going to go down. It's what your total revenue is more important than your total members. And people ask, is dollar per car relevant? Yes, it is relevant. You still have a certain segment of the customers that are coming in and just buying those individual washes. Those you want to take a look at your dollar per car and all the things that you would do to protect that, you would do that. It's just that the goal, I think, is to get at least 80% of your business to be membership, and now you're a subscription business. Okay. All right. Last question, and I'm going to wrap this up because we got a prize to give away. How long does it take to get to 5,000 members? We've seen and had a lot of clients do right around the 5,000 mark. They've been able to do that in about 1.5 to 2 years, 18 to 24 months, in that range. Okay, so the winner of the iPad is Keisha Thomas, Tops Car Wash. Boy, we got a long way. It's going to cost us a lot of money to send it to you because Tops Car Wash is up in Canada. Okay, I want to thank everybody very much for attending. Thank you for your questions. It was great, and I look forward to helping you in any way possible with your Unlimited Wash Club as we go down the road. Thank you.